welcome back to the District 3 podcast. This is Elena Ramirez welcoming you guys in. Today is a co-host only episode. I've got over here
Irving
and Biggs.
We're changing it up a little bit this week, huh?
Yeah.
This time Elena is introducing the podcast. What episode is this, Elena?
This is episode 268.
Yeah, we've gone pretty far. We're excited about recording this episode, even though when we record it, it might be a little bit late in the events that we're going to talk about, but hopefully it's still fun for the people that are listening. Currently, it's a Friday, and I'm not sure. Do y'all have any plans for today? Have y'all planned anything out?
I just came back from a trip and then working and all of that, so no.
Oh, yeah, you went, was it like a bridesmaid?
It's a bachelorette party. Mm-hmm.
When y'all went to where?
Scottsdale, which was weird. Everything there is all like bachelor and bachelorette. Like it's a touristy spot. It was really weird.
Why is it popular for bachelorettes? Like, what is there to do?
I don't know.
There? I'm guessing there's bars, right?
No, well, they have Airbnbs that like specifically cater to that. So they're like really nice Airbnbs. And then, I mean, there's hiking. There is like a little like Dixon Street, and they've got like different types of bars that are like in the water that we didn't go to. We were like, that sounds gross. There's just like
Germs.
a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
How was the weather over there?
Hot.
You know, sometimes
nice.
the 2 times that I've gone to Arizona, the weather hasn't been hot. It's been like nice and cool. But I think it's been like during the winter time when I go. But it feels really nice. But I feel like if you would go during this time, it would be a little bit more hotter.
It just started dropping a little bit, I think. So, I mean, it was like 108 every day we were there.
Oof. How long were you over there?
I was just there for like a weekend, like Thursday through Sunday.
I saw you missing Cece.
Yeah. I also
That's
saw
gotta be tough,
Amelia
huh?
there. I saw Amelia at the airport.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were on the same plane. And I was like, what? You're here. She's like, what? You're here.
It's such a small world when you're in a different city and you see someone from Northwest Arkansas and they're like heading to NWA.
Yeah.
And you're just like, man, this is a small world. There was this one time when I went to Orlando and I went to like this random mall over there in Orlando and I saw someone from Springdale over there. And
Yeah.
he recognized me and he comes up, he's like, hey, we went to school together. Hey, we're like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, man, how small is this world?
Yeah. And I was out there promoting the podcast too. Every Uber driver is like, yeah, hey, I have a YouTube channel. Just kidding.
Follow and subscribe.
I got a few followers this week for us.
You know, but that's one thing that we should kind of be doing at the beginning of every episode is telling people to follow and subscribe. We never do that.
Yeah.
Or at the end of it. And we did have a conversation about that, and we did it for like 2 episods.
Yeah.
And then we kind of...
Sometimes I randomly remember. I'm like, don't forget to tell them to subscribe.
Yeah, I think the most recent one that I did that was yesterday. So if this person is listening, I believe I forgot her name. Oh my god, I met her at the HARC C3 summit that happened yesterday morning, and I told them that we do a podcast here at KUAF, and she followed the Instagram right away, and she subscribed right away. So if you're listening, thank you for subscribing and for listening.
Yeah, man, thank you. Like, you have no idea how many friends that I've known for like a decade that I tell them that I have a podcast and they probably haven't listened to like one single episode, or at least give me that subscription, bro. Like,
Shout out to my brother. He listens to every epised, and he's like, sometimes it feels like I talk to you all the time because I'm always listening to your podcast.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I don't think I gave Myra crap about it, but you know how like Spotify does those like your top podcast of the year, and I'm never on Myra's top podcast. I was like, oh man,
Jasper, I'm calling you out too.
she got like the Murder in America, Morbid, all these different like
crime.
But I'm not even like top 4. I'm like, I get it. She probably gets tired of listening to
Creepy
me
Cuentos is right below them too.
I know,
Before
point.
District 3.
at this point, but it's just like, man, when your friends don't
support you.
Sometimes it's like the strangers are like the most supportive people.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
yeah, no, that's true, man.
Like the people that come up to you and they'll be like, hey, listen to. Well, actually, I do remember this other person's name. I had 3 people yesterday that came up to me about listening to the podcast. One, his name is Ezequiel Tobar. He's here from Rogers, and I believe he works for an architecture firm. So shout out to Ezequiel who listens every week, and he was telling me how much he enjoyed the mayor's episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Have you had any experiences like that, Megs?
Oh, well, I just wanted to give a shout out to John Burke. He was one of our camera ops for this one of these events that we had here recently, and we added each other on Instagram. And the next day, he's like, "Hey, like I started following your podcast and blah blah." I was like, "Wow, dude! Like, thanks,
Yeah.
like And so that was pretty cool. You got to give it up to people like that support.
Have you guys found any new podcasts recently that you guys are listening to?
Oh man. No.
I try to like every time I meet someone and they tell me their podcast, I try to give it a listen.
Yeah.
And at least the least thing I can do, even if it's something that it's not like my kind of content, because sometimes it's just not. Like, it doesn't matter how much you want to support someone. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem with some of our best friends. Maybe we're just not like their kind of content. They want to hear people like murder mystery or like super comedy, all these different things. Maybe that's it. But at least what I'll do is I'll give them a 5-star rating. Just if I know I'm not gonna listen to their content, but I still want to be supportive to them because they're local, I'll go give them 5 stars, and I'll follow their Instagram too, and maybe subscribe to their YouTube if they have one of those.
Yeah, I always told myself that and not only podcasts, but with friends and stuff who are artists and are doing things to promote. Like I always tell myself dude, I need to start sharing this stuff of them, and support them. And then I don't know why I just never do. I was so I don't know. I feel like I only post my stuff. I'm afraid to post other people's stuff, including memes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
well.
There
You
hard.
go, Mick. That's probably why they don't support you when you.
You're not sharing their stuff. Share for share. Come on, Migs.
Yeah,
and
I don't think I'll change anything.
And for me, first of all, I found the person's name, the new follower. Her name's Grace. So Grace, thanks for following the podcast on Instagram and listening to the podcast. Hopefully, but yeah, I think one of the cool things one of the things that I think we should talk about, because it's really interesting to have a discussion about, is when your best friends are not your biggest supporters, and how sometimes the most random people in my life that are just my Facebook friend, are the ones that are messaging me saying, "Hey, I listened to this episode. I really enjoyed this." But there's sometimes, it's not always like that, because sometimes there are really good friends that do listen.
Yeah.
And another example that I can give is shout out Patty Rodriguez. She came up to me at the Mexican Independence Day at the Jones Center, and she was telling me that she was listening to the podcast more regularly. Every time it would come out every week. So shout out Patty for being loyal and for supporting your friends over here at the District 3 podcast. But but I think it's normal to when you don't get the support of your best friends to be a little bit hurt, because I have my moments like that where I'm like, damn.
I feel like it's different for you because this is your podcast.
My baby.
Yeah. So for me, it's I've been here for a year now, almost 2.
No, you've been here. I've been here for a year. So you've been here for 2
a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah, I've been here over a year.
I think maybe November. Maybe this next month it'll be 2 years actually. So so it's still kind of figuring out do I call myself a podcaster? Is that what I do? And it and then I just recently had someone congrats on your podcast, and I was like, oh, thanks. They're like, how many episodes do you have? I was like, well, there's almost 300. And they're like, what? I thought you just started this. And I was like, no, I joined. I'm a co-host. So it's this weird, space for me. But I'm learning how to just take it all in and be no, I'm there. I'm in a lot of the episodes. Maybe not all of them, but, so.
Even the ones that you're not here, today, we still say your name. We'll still be Elena's not here, all these different things. True. I had someone come up to me and they want to be on the podcast, so we probably will, because there's a specific topic that I think is important for us to talk about. But then she was like, I think you should have Manny on the podcast. And I was like, Manny was a co-host on the podcast before. He just got really busy. So, but it just cracked me up because she was like, I think he'd be a great guest. And I'm like, we recorded 100 episodes together. He's great. I love Manny.
For a good while.
I love Manny. He's just really, really busy.
Was that the one I was like, ooh, they were telling me his backstory or whatever?
No, I don't think so. I don't know who you're talking about, though.
Oh man, who was it? I guess it's not important.
I love Manny.
It's a juicy
I
backstory.
want to know who you're talking about. now, 'cause-
You know, just like the how he came up from like nothing, and now I forgot what he does. It's a thing.
I wonder who you're talking about, but no, it's not Manny. Manny's cool. I still vibe here.
I do want to say about like the podcaster thing. First of all, I think Elena that you got to own it because until you start considering yourself that, then you know. I think
don't y'all own it already? Y'all both have it on your bios. How do you not own
we had
it?
it, but
Just recently, you know.
yeah.
I saw it on Mig's bio the other day, so I'm like, y'all need,
and I
y'all need to own it.
Yeah, I just changed my wording so it sounds right. But the thing is, it's, like, I never, when people ask me, like, what do you do? I never say I have a podcast, you know, like, because there's so many different things that I do. And this to me isn't like, when they ask me, I feel like they're asking me about work. And this to me, well, I guess it is work, man.
Yeah, well, you be stressing sometimes. You be stressing sometimes.
Yeah, but I just never consider it that.
When you
I should though, because I need to like start plugging the thing.
I mean, it's part of your identity now. Like people, like even when I do like speaking engagements or I'm recognized or something, they always put podcaster now. So I think like eventually that's gonna be for you too. They're gonna identify you. Some people might not even know what you do at the AMP, but they know that you do a podcast, and that'll be their identity for you, for them.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to think about, but you know, y'all have done so many episodes so far. What do y'all think? Is there anything in yourselves that when you record or maybe when you listen to yourself afterwards that you want to change? Because I know I have a lot of those that I still want to change.
I have safety words. Like, what is it that I said? I'm trying to remember. I think it's like something along the lines like, I just wanted to say. And then I'm like, come on, stupid. You're like, just say it. Like, you don't need to say that you were going to say it because you're saying it.
Yeah, I think kind of just more of like that consistency, like being like not explaining things out because it's like people are listening to this. Like, that's 10 seconds that could have been used in just having more conversation.
But the thing is, you know, like you see me coming up close to the mic and then both of you turn and you got something to say, and then I'm like, I was just going to say that.
Like, we know you got something to say, Mig, say it.
I know you guys going to say because you take a deep breath. You'll be like, and I'm like, okay, here it goes.
I try to do movements, like, I try to grab things and stuff. That's what I try to do sometimes.
I
just interject.
I still will say the word like a lot, and it gets on my nerves when I do it. I got better at it. It's way better than what it was, but I used to say it a lot.
I used to say the word like just in life a lot. Like every like other word, you know, like. And then I had an ex-girlfriend, and she was like, sometimes I can't understand you because every other word you have is like. So I fix that. What I can fix is to laugh after most sentences, you know?
No, that's part of it. That's part of it. You know, we had a conversation about like just different mannerisms that we have on the podcast. And I remember you said that one of the things you wanted to change was the word anyway. And you've gotten better at that. You do say it here and there, but I think you've gotten better at saying it all the time.
Yeah. Anyway. I'm sitting in Irvin's chair, and this feels weird.
I know. I'm over here at on the guest chair over here.
I feel like you've sat in this chair before.
No, like this chair, like the actual physical chair.
I didn't even
That's
notice.
right.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice you had the chair that moves around. That's really comfortable. But
No,
I'm fine here.
it's not comfortable to me. I like the other one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just like it's flatter, it's lower. Yeah. Anyway,
Are you weird like that, Migs? Like, do you have like things that you like?
I just know. I just
Constantly?
know that I feel different than when I usually.
I guess
do
it's
when I'm
not
sitting
weird.
here.
I guess it's not weird
Yeah.
like that. But like, you know, there's some like I like to use certain types of cups sometimes for like my tea and stuff and like.
I mean, I probably do. I can't think
You
of any right
can't
now.
you can't think of anything.
I only have the only cup that I have that's different than all the others is one that I always use for Fireball and Coke at home. And it's like the ugliest cup ever, but it's like my comfort cup, and it just the whiskey just tastes good there.
I mean,
Interesting.
like when it comes to drinks, I do have cups for each drink. Like I have the copper ones, or I have
Yeah,
like glass,
the
the
Moscow
little glass jar
Mules
ones
and
for
the-
whiskey. Then I have some clay ones for like gin and like yeah. Anyway,
How big of an alcohol collection do you have?
I wouldn't say.
Or like, do you have a bar?
I wouldn't say it's big.
You haven't invited me over. Actually, this is
You should have came for WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Where was
I
that?
didn't-
Where was that?
It's like I said, it's not a
You know.
bar. It's just like they call it a corner bar. It's just kind of like this little shelf on the side.
yeah.
I was surprised by how much liquor he didn't have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like he kind of has like what he likes,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
you know,
I would say.
and then
Yeah.
like maybe like a
And-
top shelf and something you can drink. whenever.
Yeah, so I'm trying to build my top shelf up, so I have like a lot of like good quality alcohol, and then I have the other bottles that for.
Edwin, do you
for
have
friends.
like anything you like to splurge on like that at home?
Like alcohol wise?
Alcohol or like action figures or Harry
action
Potter
figures.
stuff?
I have Funko Pops, but like I stopped my collection because I found the Holy Grail, which
Yeah.
is my Eddie Guerrero Funko Pop, and I lost interest. And I was buying like one every week.
Oh, wow.
Because my brother-in-law got me into them because he started collecting them. So I was like, oh cool. So I got like Harry Potter characters. I got like Captain Planet. And then I found Eddie Guerrero, and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah. How
So-
big of a wall of Funko Pops do you have? Where
It's not a wall. It's like it's my game room, like the flex. But it's like a little. It's a game room / office. It's not a full game room. But I probably have like about 15 of them.
Okay, that's not bad.
And I don't think I have anything. Like I used to collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and that
Yeah.
was interesting for me. But I created the deck that I wanted to have, and I really don't. Yeah, I guess I really don't collect anything like that. It's
Yeah.
kind of sad.
I don't. I mean, like, I like to buy movies, but then Best Buy stopped selling movies. Because it was like one of
Best
those
Buy
things.
stopped
like,
selling everything.
Yeah, movies, and I have a bunch of CDs. So it's just kind of like. But those are things I always constantly buy. I always look for.
I'm trying to
But
think.
I like to have the nice movies, like steel books, like collector editions, or like if I
Yeah.
could find those.
I think what
Man, I feel boring.
Maybe
now.
I'm-
I don't collect anything.
maybe I'm too poor to collect
yeah,
the things I, want.
No, I think sometimes it's like you have to have money for that.
I collect production gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want everything that I need.
No, but there's like little things that like. Do you like to freeze your ice a certain way whenever you make a drink? Like, is there
no.
special ice you get?
Well, no. I know I have like the big square cubes for
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, but no.
I tried like going back to the alcohol thing. I don't like to keep alcohol in my house anymore.
Yeah.
Just because like I feel like I'll find a reason to be like, hey, like let me get a drink and like,
Yeah.
and I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to force myself to go out to get a drink.
I think I'm the opposite. Like now I can have alcohol in my house because now I can finally like control myself. Like before, no, like I remember starting.
That's real, though.
I remember trying to start alcohol collection like 3 years ago and being like, "All right, let me get this bottle of tequila. Fucking 2-3 days gone."
Gone.
like, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I prefer to go out, even though, you know, there's places that are, for the most part, when you go to a restaurant, the alcohol is expensive. Like the alcohol adds up, like in your bill. I'm glad like the Odd Soul has really good prices for alcohol. Usually when I go there and like I'll hang out with friends or something and I'll get like 3 or 4 drinks, it'll be less than
Bro,
$30.
I didn't know they had brunch there.
They just started about
Oh, okay.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, because I was like, dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have. You know, talking about the Odd Soul, we need to go. Maybe I should say this off the air, but I'm gonna say it on the air. We need to add our sticker and our flyer to their bathroom because
We need to add our flyers to a lot of spots.
Yeah,
I feel
or
like we need to
sticker.
get like a nice.
Oh, but by the
Fayetteville
way,
Public Library,
we
too.
need
Yeah.
better stickers because I saw the one in the back of your car. That thing's
Oh.
already
Yeah, it's already
away.
faded.
It's like it's been like a month.
And water it hasn't been a month.
I told you, vinyl.
It's been like 6 months and no, actually 5 months and water hit it. I washed it. I've taken it to
Yeah.
a car wash. But yeah, I noticed a sticker.
But we're moving up in the world and we're getting
You
merch
mean
and
life,
stuff.
Life happened, and
Damn, he
could
called me
handle
out.
it.
He called me out on the air on that. Damn. But
If you see a faded out sticker on a black
No,
Honda,
like trust me, like I've worked with other people, and then we tried to take the cheap way out, and you get cheap products with cheap things, man.
I don't know if I did. I not get vinyl? I thought I got vinyl.
no,
No.
it's not. Like
What's-
vinyl's like different. It feels
Yeah,
It's
and,
like
and even like when you rip it off, like those crappy ones, like all of a sudden it's all over, so you gotta keep like scratching it off until it finally
Damn,
comes
yeah,
out. Yeah,
it was definitely, it's definitely one of those. Anything else you want to you want to say? Mix? Damn.
people need to hear this. Maybe somebody's trying to start, for
Next
their band.
time-
If you have a band, don't get crappy stickers. Get something that'll last on somebody's
true.
car when you
That's
stick it
true.
on there illegally.
You know, one of the things I also wanted to talk about, changing topics before Mix calls me out on something else. Damn it. Whenever I've gone to these like podcast meetups at the library, which y'all haven't gone
Yeah.
to. Like, the
there you
last,
go. I knew he was gonna call
which
me
you
out on
haven't gone
that.
to the last two. No, that's not why I said
that
that.
Biggs was supposed to.
That's not why I said that though.
Just kidding.
The reason where I brought it up is because I went to this last one, and I kind of got put in a. I don't want to say I got put in a situation, but I was one of the most experienced podcasters there. So
What with your 268 episodes? Is this it? Like,
268 episodes.
Ain't counting.
And I sometimes forget, and I shouldn't. I should learn to kind of put myself back to where I was whenever I started this podcast, about how like the advice I could give people whenever they're wanting to start a podcast, like the most basic stuff, that information that wasn't given to me, I now have that knowledge to help people.
Yeah, like I've been reached out like twice about starting a podcast, but I just don't think like people ask me like the right questions. I don't think they know what questions to ask, because the first thing they ask me is like, what kind of equipment, like where should I get equipment or whatever, and it's kind of like, well.
And then knowing you're gonna tell them like, this is the best equipment there is.
No.
But it's like $1,200 to buy.
It's different from what I want and what somebody starting out needs. And so I mean, my best advice for equipment is marketplace.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's the only way you can get cheap stuff. Like people, I think even with camera, like in the production world, people are always like, "Hey man, where do you get your lenses or cameras?" Like the store online, like Amazon. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
I mean, Walmart.
Nowadays, if someone says like, I want to start a podcast, you kind of have to ask him, okay, are you gonna record on site? Are you gonna record with someone in person? Because you're gonna need 2 mics.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the money to do that, because I mean sometimes equipment is kind of expensive, especially if you're not ready to fully commit to.
Yeah, I mean we're just starting to get our own equipment.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, we barely.
But look, what I tell people is like, if you are gonna do it like online, then you can go on like Riverside. You can do Spotify for podcasters, and then subscribe every month for Riverside, and you can do online interviews, and you can record and edit and everything on there, and that's just like $29 a month. But if you want to do it in person, then you got to get mics. That's 2 mics that you got to get. And then probably you have to get a soundboard as well.
Yeah. You can get a Zune. It's called a Zoom recorder, and you can get like the 8, the 6, or the 4, and those are all different channels, meaning how many mics you can plug into them. But really, most people only need a 4. It's about $100 to $300 depending on how you can get it.
You see, most people are not ready to commit like that to that.
Oh, to 100 or 300? Well, then you're not ready to do a podcast, huh?
This is why they don't ask Migs for advice. Bro, because look.
But I mean, I kind of have to agree. Whenever you want to do something, you're gonna have to put some money behind it. $100 is not too bad.
I just don't
for
want
a
to.
mixer. Yeah,
I just
then
don't-
you need mics, and those are probably
Yeah, and then that's whenever it starts. To
I just don't want to get people that don't have money to be like, oh, I
Oh
guess
no,
I
there's
can't start a
definitely,
podcast.
and there's also free
like
resources out
there's
there.
a lot of people that want to start a podcast that don't have $100.
Yeah, no, most
you know?
definitely.
Yeah.
But
That's what I'm worried about.
But then we used to just remind them that, I mean, when I tell them, hey, you should look on Marketplace and blah, blah, blah. I just joined the podcast, but when Irvin started, he started doing it on his phone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you can go listen to the episodes, and it sounds like I'm freaking in a cave.
But
you know?
I mean, you can get like a little Rode microphone probably and use your
But
phone.
yeah, but the thing is, like, the mic on the phone is actually pretty good. It's your surroundings. So if you're in the kitchen recording, then yeah, it sounds like yeah.
I mean, I started with like an iPhone 7, so the audio wasn't that great
but
then. Now it is.
Yeah,
now it's a little bit better.
If it's just it's you by yourself talking.
And we had the camera that we had to make sure we clicked back on every 30 minutes or whatever.
I forgot about that. Then like on the Spotify for Podcasters app, after an hour it would just stop recording, and I didn't know that. So one time I recorded an episode like that went like an hour and 30 minutes, and then I was like, let me check the episode. It stopped at like minute 58.
Oh, yeah.
And the good stuff happened the last 30 minutes. So I was like, man, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you don't have the money to start a podcast, there's ways around it for you to do it. You're not going to have the best quality because, I mean, let's be honest, for the first 50 episodes, I had crappy, but I was using my phone.
If it's
crappy
you by
quality.
yourself, get in the closet, do it on your phone if you can do it.
But
and
then
get it.
that
recording.
raises up another issue, which is like I feel like sometimes some people
And, like, literally in the closet because it takes away the sound. I'm not saying it any other
in the
yeah.
closet. Shut up. Some people.
Well, no, I mean, they might think I'm kidding. Like, like really, get
Yeah,
in the
because
closet.
it's gonna.
Yeah.
That's what
I'm
they
glad
did
you
here.
clarified that.
This is what they did here whenever COVID hit. But some people want the best quality right whenever they start off, and they want it at a cheap price.
Yeah.
You know, some people
Can't
are
do
like,
that.
I want video,
Well,
I want audio.
You also need the education behind it. I mean, even if you have the equipment, if you don't know how to use it, it's probably gonna sound like shit.
yeah.
AKA me, whenever I started, I didn't know how to use a lot of stuff, you know, and luckily now we have things like the Arkansas podcast collaborative that meets every month at the Fayetteville Public Library, and you get to talk to experienced podcasters and go ask the questions that you want to ask of you
Yeah.
wanting to start your podcast. Whenever I started, man, like I think the only podcaster I knew was Randy. and I didn't have a relationship with him from I Am Northwest Arkansas. I had no relationship with him. So I literally had nothing, no one to tell me like, hey, you should do this. And I would Google it and I just couldn't find the right answers.
Yeah.
You know, I remember Manny, who was a former co-host, he's the one that managed to get like the RSS feed because I also didn't understand that really. And he got the podcast on Apple Podcasts. I had it on Spotify because it automatically went there. And then with help, I started learning more. But there's probably still people out there that have no idea and they're trying to start, and it's just like very aggravating that you don't know what to do.
I think that's not only for podcasts, because of those growing pains for me reminds me a lot of like starting my own business. You know, like just nobody knows. First of all, the business I'm in, like I know that. I mean, for the people I had around at that time, nobody was doing it. Nobody knew the prices I should do, what equipment I should get, how to get a business, how to get a license, how to like do my taxes, how to do all that stuff. You know, like nobody had the answers for that, and it was just a decade long. Yeah, but anyway, same thing with a podcast. You know, you start from nothing, but you got to start doing it to get to know the right people. Yeah.
And I hope that, you know, if there's people listening that don't have resources, that, you know, don't have money to do it, if they have any questions, reach out to me. And if you do have money and you want to pay me for my time, great, right? Yeah. But if you don't, don't let that stop you. Like, reach out to me. I've helped out probably like 5 different people in the process of starting their podcast. Some are going to be launching really soon. So please reach out. I'll try to make time, even if I don't answer right away. But we definitely need to help each other out because it sucks when you just don't know what to do.
Yeah. And then give us a call. We'll be on your podcast.
Yeah, for real though. Which shout out to the people from People of NWA podcast. I told y'all that they reached out about wanting us on the podcast, so hopefully we're able to do that soon, and we're able to collab with them. And yeah, I think next month there was supposed to be a podcasting event for Latinos in Little Rock, but I got canceled. So it's going to be pushed forward probably to like November or something. So look out for that. And then the podcast festival is coming this year to Northwest Arkansas. So the main part of the Arkansas Podcast Collaborative, aka ARCAST, podcast festival is going to be here at I think it's going to be either the Fayetteville Public Library or the Town Center. I forgot.
I think from what I remember, it's going to be at the Fayetteville Public Library, and KUAF is a big sponsor for it.
Okie dokie. I should know this because I'm on the board, but I forgot. So it's going to be at the Fayetteville Public Library. So look out for that. Usually this last event of the podcast festival is the best, and they bring in the best speakers, and we're excited about that. But Migs, what have you been up to? I know that you have done a lot of concerts in the past 2 weeks. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper. That was a pretty good show. Rob Zombie kind of stiffed me. He put a 3-foot LED wall like right on the stage. So my handheld camera operator, it was hard for her to get shots because there was three more foot of LED on top of the stage.
Like Rob Zombie put it on there, or his people put it on there?
No, well, I mean, it's part of his show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool, but it was just hard for me to get shots. But, I mean, I was looking at sometimes, like, people post those things on YouTube, so I go there afterwards, like, oh, no, fucking great show. Alice Cooper, that was like almost like a theater, like, production, like, they had this thing where like a groupie comes like on stage, not a groupie, like a lady like just taking pictures, being like, "Oh my god!" And then all of a sudden, like this guy in a Jason mask pops out of nowhere and fucking slices her throat.
Oh damn!
Yeah, they beheaded.
Yeah, I heard his wife was walking around with
with his head. Yeah.
Oh wow, that was at the amp.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, it was a cool little production, man.
And I saw like he did like a Alice Cooper, like in Arkansas Times magazine.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I saw that too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I went to.
He's got a great team then.
I didn't work. I didn't work the Ivan Cornejo, but I was there.
Oh, you were?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
He took the tickets, actually. I'm just kidding.
You stiffed our...
No, and it was cool. And then I was actually like in a box. It was like a nice experience. It's not, it's not my cup of tea. But I mean, it was loud. Like all those little like 17 to 21-year-old girls.
I got tickets, but I gave them to my cousin and my sister-in-law, and they were box tickets too. And they were like, he was walking right here, and stuff. And I was like, I don't know any songs.
Shout out to the person that won the tickets from our giveaway. His name is Manases de la Fuente from Fort Smith. Who I was concerned because I forgot that the concert was yesterday. And I had already told him, like, hey, just go to the box and you can get the tickets there.
Okay.
But he had texted me. He's like, hey, are the tickets going to be there? And I was like, yeah, I'll text him back. The concert's probably like tomorrow or the day after. And I forgot that it was
Unreliable.
Yesterday. It was yesterday. But he was already.
just kidding.
Luckily, he was heading out this way, and I told him where to get him. He got him. He texted me, I'm in. I'm like, okay, bet. Have fun. Have
Yeah, like I saw that message come, but I didn't know.
fun. You saw it, Migs? Damn.
Well,
I didn't.
I
Didn't
didn't know.
put it in the group chat.
I didn't know anything about
Yeah.
those tickets. I just thought you would take care of it. You know.
Yeah.
But he got in. That's the most important thing. And shout out to Nora, who was our hookup over there at the. At
Hopefully,
the
we
amp.
could do some more giveaways.
Yeah, I
on
think
other
so.
things too.
I
See.
think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think.
The whites on the screen were blown out. Cameras weren't matching. Also, that's
just because you weren't directing,
Yeah.
is that what you're saying?
no. I mean, like we've been told by plenty of national touring acts that
did he
we
bring-
are the.
He brought his own people to.
Yeah. But you can tell it was kind of like on a budget kind of people because he had one camera guy and then like two like robotic cams and then one guy that comes out there once in a while to get some stuff.
Yeah. Get some
Who
stuff in.
was not too steady.
That's
But-
that's Mig's way of saying like you need to have Mig direct the camera.
But I get it because you go to a lot of these other venues and that's what you get. That's exactly what you get. What you saw there. You know.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So what's next? What's next for y'all? What do y'all have going on? Do you have anything exciting going on?
I go to Louisiana tomorrow for.
I've been wanting to go to New Orleans for so
Oh
long.
yeah, no, but I'm only going across the border for what is it? The Tech, Louisiana Tech football game. Over
Oh,
there.
they're playing?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
you filming it?
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
yeah.
Okay,
I'll be
okay.
on the camera out there, and hopefully, well, I think I got Billy Idol, but I want to do Chappelle Roan, man.
That's
That concert's gonna be crazy, bro.
I saw. I don't know if it's true or not. I saw some lady that posted a ticket that was $40,000. Is that real?
They are selling for crazy, but people aren't actually buying it. Like,
There was
I
a
mean,
ticket
it's just-
second row that said $44,000. I was
That's
like,
crazy.
what the heck? That's crazy.
for what, less than $200 ticket probably. I think they were less than 200.
I like that they did like a partnership with Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. Did y'all see that?
No.
So Good Shepherd Lutheran Church has like a, I don't say it's an organization, but it's kind of like they call it Queer Camp, which is a camp for LGBTQ people, and apparently Chappelle Roan give them 2 tickets to put out in a raffle, or like for them to bid on it, so
Yeah.
that they can fundraise for that queer camp.
That's pretty cool. That is cool.
and
Well, you know she's from like Missouri.
Missouri?
Yeah.
Yeah, not too far from here.
she's from Missouri.
Yeah.
That's how that's how the people pronounce it from Missouri.
Did I tell like the first time of like she like impressed me right? Like the first time I saw her was on Jimmy Kimmel not too long ago, and
Yeah.
no, not Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah,
one of the
Where
Jimmys.
she's like wearing the white.
Yeah,
and
I
she
don't
got the-
watch Jimmy Kimmel, but I always say his name first. It's probably because I used to go to his shows live taping when I was a kid. Anyway,
Myra does that too, though. Myra does that too. She calls it Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel.
So it was at Jimmy Fallon's show, and then she's doing her interview, you know, and she's a great interview. You know,
Yeah.
she's kind of confident. She's like a little snarky. She was cool.
Yeah.
You know, and then she did her performance, and the way, because you know, usually on those like late night like TV shows, those performances are kind of you know.
They have but I don't want to say half-assed, but they have half-assed
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah. It's not everything, but I saw her and I was like, wow,
No,
like,
she's
that
good.
girl is a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
And I never really watched her perform until like 2 weeks ago.
I
And it
haven't
was
watched her
the MTV Music Awards, and she performed it, and I was like, oh, I get it. I
Yeah.
was like, I get it. I never really listened to her music or anything, but
Yeah.
when I saw the performance, I was like, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get why she's so popular.
No, I haven't watched her perform, but
Listen to her songs.
yeah, I've listened to her songs. Yeah, once she like blew up, one of my coworkers was like, "Hey, did you hear anything about Chapel Rowing and coming to the amp yet?" And I was like, "No." And then like 3 weeks later, that's whenever they announced it, and I was like,
Oh,
I was
how
like,
did
"Who
you
is
know?
this girl? Who is?" And I
she
looked up
know?
like Chapel
Like,
Roan.
Who sells out all their
Dave
tickets
Chappelle?
in pre-sale?
Yeah, it's like Dave
Talking
Chappelle.
about
Yeah,
Dave Chappelle. Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle's new persona.
I didn't even know who she was until
quite the opposite of
till
Dave
later.
Chappelle, actually. But yeah, I mean, this episode is kind of meant to be like a co-host, just to kind of catch up. We really don't have any topics to discuss, but I thought it'd be good to just for us to kind of get
When is
together.
the Chapel Roan concert?
I don't even know.
October 2nd.
October 2nd already?
Oh, so
Yeah.
this episode will come out that week then.
Yeah.
So,
So
when
it's
people will be
something
listening,
relevant?
we'll be listening to that. Wow.
God, I got Don Tolliver tickets, but I don't even remember when that concert is.
That's like the 20. I don't know. I gotta look at it.
One of the cool things of like the end of the year here in Northwest Arkansas is that there's a lot of concerts.
Yeah.
So much that I was just like, I was trying to figure out which one. You know, Juanes is coming.
Yeah.
Is it next month?
Is it at JJ's too, right?
Yeah,
Or,
it is
yeah.
live.
And then at Alpha, La Mama, La Mama, La Mama, La
Really?
Mama, La
I didn't know
Mama,
they were
La
coming.
Mama, Yeah, he's coming to the JJ's too. And then Soulja Boy coming.
Mexican
So
OT.
Soulja Boy, I tell
Oh,
you.
we should see if we could get some stuff from JJ's then.
Yeah, we should. But
did-
shout out to Bang, who got
Yeah.
the opportunity to open up for Soulja Boy.
Yeah,
Whenever
it's crazy.
Whenever Soulja Boy comes in, when is it? Is it?
I don't know when it is.
this
I
month?
just saw that yesterday.
But that's a good problem to have, right? The fact that we don't even know like when all these different concert dates, because there's just it's
Yeah.
like they're competing right now. JJ's competing with the Amp, and and yeah, I think there's, and then also the Mexican independence celebrations that happen here in Northwest Arkansas were also very cool. I'm not sure if did y'all get to go to any of them?
No, I was out of town.
No.
Migs, what happened? Well, I guess you're not Mexican, so I was like kind of like whatever. But
Yeah. I was like, oh, they're celebrating again.
this is the actual independence. You know what?
But I was busy with work all week. I was driving home one day and I saw a bunch of trucks with flags on them, and I was like, oh, it's too dark for me to go take pictures. I'll just go home.
Nah, I feel
You're
that.
old.
I feel that though. I feel that though. We got to go. We went to the Mexican Independence celebration in Little Rock, and then we went to the one at the Jones Center, and then we went to the one at the Rail Yard. And the Rail Yard had Grupo Control and La Sonora Dinamita. Grupo Control is badass to see live.
Oh yeah.
Was
They're
it?
so cool. They're so good at singing
And it's
live.
free, right?
Yeah.
Right there at the Rogers. They do such a great job getting artists there. They've gotten some really good free artists. right
It was
there.
through La Zeta. La Zeta did the concert for free.
The-
The,
yeah.
the Rail Yard just hosted.
Yeah, okay.
But the Grupo Control was so good. We had such a good time. I think that day I got like 15,000 steps because of all the dancing that was going on. So it's just cool to see, you know, cool free things happening in Northwest Arkansas. And then this week, by the time that you listen to this, it'll be too late. But this week is Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue in Rogers. And our friends at the Mutiny Wrestling Federation are actually going to be setting up a ring at Flashback Pizza. And yeah, it's a free show as well. So there's a lot of free
Oh
stuff you can enjoy.
yeah. I think I met the owner from there last night.
Flashback?
Yeah.
Garrett?
Man, that was probably
Did
it.
he have like cool glasses and like
No,
like-
maybe they just worked there then.
probably because
Yeah.
you can tell who the owner is because he's really eccentric with how he dresses.
I felt like the whole crew that I met from there, I met like the bartender and then like I think it was like a waiter or somebody that works there, and I thought who they were with was the owner, but I guess not.
Have you gone in there? Have you gone into Flashback Pizza?
No, I just found out about it yesterday.
I went there last week.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. It's like 90s nostalgia
Yeah.
stuff in there. They have like
I haven't ate there.
a Scooby-Doo van. They have
Okay, what can you do to Scooby Doo van?
I don't know if it's
Can you hotbox it?
they have like
You get some Scooby
Damn.
snacks.
they have like 90s video games. They have like different movies, and they play just like 90s music throughout the whole time. So sometimes they'll stop and then they'll do the whole Friends thing. Like the Friends song will come on, and then they'll be like. And then they also do karaoke, which is really cool. So I don't know. We really enjoyed our experience there last week. The pizza was really, really good. Yeah. The vibes were immaculate. And this isn't an ad, but go check out Flashback Pizza in Rogers. They're really good people too. I got to interact with them because they came to our AEW All-In watch party. So that's kind of why I was able to interact with the owner, and he's really nice. He's a really good person. So check out Flashback Pizza. But anything else before we end this week's episode?
Well, Irvin, I've been looking at social media lately, and your social media in particular.
What did I do?
And I've seen that you've just been like all over. You've been like
Yeah,
doing
your
stuff for
face has been everywhere.
USL, like Univision,
let me tell you.
what's going on over there, man?
Yeah,
Let me
you're
tell
blowing
you.
up.
Fucking,
Are you gonna act like you don't know us anymore, or what?
I'm fucking already
Hey.
hot right now.
For the Univision Arkansas thing, they put your picture like twice. I'm not sure if you saw the clip, but it literally showed your picture with Coco. It showed your picture with Haley. They put your pictures like I was like, am I on this podcast? 'Cause they were just showing her pictures. But I recorded a lot of different things, and everybody put them online at the same 48 hours. So it just looked like I was the most popular dude in like NWA for like 48 hours. But they just happened to put all the videos on at the same time. But I'm really grateful for, you know, I met with Lauren Alter, who's the marketing person for the USL, and we recorded something, and then I spoke with Andrea at Univision, and then that same day I had done like a KNWA, but it was like for talking about like voting barriers for.
So we got someone to call in, and they said, if you're a U.S. citizen, don't you have to learn English? If you're going to take that test, why do they need interpreters there?
Well, English is actually not the official language of this country, ma'am. There's no official language.
They tried to explain that, and they're like, it sounds like you don't know anything about civics. When was the last time you took a civics class? Is what they told us.
Probably like more recent than you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you only know one language? Ew.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
You can only communicate with how many people?
Very important topic that you talked about. Make sure you're registered to vote.
Yeah, that day, I want to give a shout out to Alice Gachuso, who was doing voter registration. She's kind of like the go-to person for voter registration right now here in Northwest Arkansas. She's working with Get Loud, and she had an event that day at the park, at the Wilson Park. It was like a block party. So, and a bunch of good people were there registering people to vote. So if you're not registered yet, you have like a few days, because I think October 2nd is a deadline.
October 7th.
Because you have to register 30 days before election day.
Yeah.
So
they're eating our cats and dogs out here. You got to hurry up and vote.
man, and we have to like. There's people out there that are really believing stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you have to like. I always believe that you have to organize and you have to vote. You have to do both of them. Even though I have friends that disagree. I have friends that are like, "Oh, voting's not important. You're just adding to a system that's already broken. It's not going to do nothing." No, I believe in local elections, because when I voted for Megan Godfrey for state representative in Springdale, she helped pass 2 laws that helped undocumented people here in Northwest Arkansas. 1, for documented people to get in-state tuition, and 2, for undocumented people to be able to become licensed nurses. So I've seen the effects of when you vote, and even if it's something where you're turned off by like the national elections, local elections are the ones that matter the most, because they're the ones that
especially
directly
they've got some alcohol stuff on the ballot this year.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, for like Fayetteville. Fayetteville doesn't sell on Sundays.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So, you know, and then I think all mayors are up except for Springdale. He's got no one going up against him, but Rogers, Bentonville, Fayetteville.
No one from Springdale has any competition in elections. No one's running against anyone.
Is there any votes passing so Walmart Plus can start delivering alcohol to my house?
No,
they did something different. They did some like roundabout about it.
Because I know in some other states, you can get it delivered, and in here, no. Like I add them to my cart, I'm like, oh, can I do it? And then like, oh, you can't add these items.
Oh, you want the drone to drop some like freaking?
Oh, that'd be dope.
The drone
just drop 140.
Just drop a 40.
I think you can order pickup at Target, but you still have to physically go and then show your ID.
Oh yeah.
But
okay, well, we have to get ready for the next episode.
Yes,
so
we do.
For everybody.
Wait, before we go, if I'm not in a couple episodes, it's because I'm in Florida taking Cece and Nia to Disney World.
Okay, there we know. So no one can message me and be like, "Y'all dropped Elena. What's going?"
They're putting her picture up way too much.
And she's gone now.
That's why she got dropped.
But thank you guys for listening in. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all social media and wherever podcasts are. That was episode 268
of the District 3 podcast.
This is Elena.
I go last.
This is Idabine.
And I'm Migs.
Catch you all next week.